We are live.
All right. So, I was thinking the other day, if I play Dungeons and Dragons with you guys, I already know what my character is going to be.
Do tell.
It's going to be a pig that's a rogue, and his name will be Cunningham.
Ooh.
I kind of like it.
Nice.
Yeah, Justin actually liked that one. All right.
I had a cousin that
Ridiculous.
named his Build-A-Bear. He was a Longhorn. He called him Hamburger. Not quite as good as what you just said, but on the same lines.
Yeah. So, welcome back, Weekenders, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Weekend from A to Z. This is, I don't know what episode number it is, number 118, 17, something like that. But it covers the weekend up to September the 29th, 2020. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us or leave a comment on our YouTube video. You can email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and like I said, YouTube at A to Z Weekend. YouTube, you'll have to search for us. It's a background with a bunch of gummy bears on it, or gummy worms on it. Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast, like Spotify.
Hey guys, I'm Justin.
I'm Alan.
Hey, I'm Scott.
And speaking of YouTube, we now have 12 subscribers.
Wow.
Right on.
We
We love you guys.
You guys are great. Please put a comment in there, just
Like,
on the
comments,
video. Just
subscribe.
no, I'm not going to say all that shit, but put a comment in there. I just think it'd be cool for us to get a comment on something. That'd be kind of cool.
We
But
do
yeah.
actually have one comment. We have one comment from.
We do?
Yeah, we do. It was back on episode number 111. Give me 1 second, and I will find it. Boom, from Mike Z. Said, love the channel, keep up the great work. And he
Hey,
said
Mike
to
Z.
have us take a look at smzeus.com. Loads of YouTube channels use this site to promote their videos.
Sweet. Thanks, Mike Z, for all of the info and the support. It's greatly appreciated, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Down in the thing. Give us a
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. You got a mad baby. That's an angry baby.
So when he gets off of daycare, he's extremely hungry.
And all he wants is fruit snacks.
Yes. Cookies, fruit snacks, anything sweet.
Come on, you two. Seriously, y'all can't blame him, can you?
Hell no.
Right on.
No. That's all the best stuff is sweet.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I tell Tammy.
You got to do the trick. It's you can make those like little granola bites or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they're sweetened with honey. So they're sweet,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where usually the kids will, they'll go after them, they'll eat them because they taste good. They're good. They don't, they don't suck. They're not, it's not an Oreo, but it's
Right,
something
right.
that's like, hey,
Somewhat
buddy,
healthy.
you can have this. It's, it's basically like oats and honey baked a little bit.
So we do have this thing we found at Costco this weekend. And we've had it before. They're like these little cubes that are like oatmeal, granola-y things or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they've got like dark chocolate bits in them.
Uh-huh.
He loves them. They're really good too. I like them.
So, I mean, if they're kind of healthy, it may be one of those things where it's like, give him 2 of those and just be like, that's it, bud.
The problem is
Pineapple.
he'll hang on to it for like an hour
Uh-oh.
and just hold it and just get chocolate all over his hands. And
Well, I'm sure they have some that have like no chocolate in them.
they might. We'll see.
What good is not having chocolate in your hands?
Well, listen, dude, if you're, how old is he? Year and a half, almost 2?
Almost 2.
Yeah. So if your almost 2-year-old has to walk around with, if it's like no chocolate for him or get chocolate all over your furniture, you go without the chocolate.
I guess so. You
I've
got a
been there.
point.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast, and I think it was Andrew Santino and Ryan Sickler. And Andrew Santino was just basically like, look, I give up on having nice stuff. Once you have kids, he's like, give up on having nice stuff. Just
I've
because.
seen in my pursuit to occupy my brain with things other than politics and COVID stuff, there are several different YouTube channels that I've kind of start watching, and there's a couple of different ones. I can't remember what they are, but they're like guys that do car detailing.
Yeah.
And like the extreme car details, like like a mom will come in there with her like Honda Odyssey van, and it looks like a goddamn garbage dump. And it's like
Yeah.
he takes and it's like a 2-year-old van. It's a 2018 van.
That's never
and-
been detailed or vacuumed out.
and but it's like there are French fries, down like in the seat rails.
Yeah.
There was something spilled, and there was a piece of cardboard that was now stuck to the carpet.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and it's little kids, so there's like yogurt everywhere and all, just horrible. And he makes it look as damn near like new. I mean, it's like it takes him 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's one of those things like, yeah, dude, when you have kids like that, you can't have like, it's one of those, like, you might as well buy, especially if you have more than one. You can probably attest to this, Scott. If you have more than one kid, it's like you're just gonna buy
Plastic wrap all the things.
well, you're just gonna buy cars and furniture that you will have until they're like teenage years.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
going to say, I gave up on trying to keep everything nice. I'm just waiting for them to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No,
Dane's
so
refrigerator that's so nice. It was nice. There's golf
Was.
ball size dents. I'm not kidding you. I think my son was hitting my daughter's golf clubs in the house. And,
in the house.
And, there's an indent of a golf ball in the wall. I don't know why, but there's Chinese throwing star holes all over this room that we're in. Because I was like, why? He goes, well, I just wanted to see if it worked. Are you kidding me?
Throw it at the fence or something, but make sure there's
Well,
not neighbors.
here's the thing, dude. I can't say that I didn't do the same kind of dumb
Yeah.
crap when I was a kid. I totally did.
Yeah.
And I got the same, well, it's probably it was a different time because I got my butt beat, but I would conveniently forget and do dumb shit the next time anyway. I think it's just kids at that age, dude, especially boys. Boys are destructive.
Oh,
Oh man, I
Those are
see
just-
it. I see it now. When he gets tired, he's like, "I'm gonna throw this around. I'm gonna tear this book. I'm just gonna throw everything just because I'm tired." But then I don't want to go to bed. It's like, oh, bro.
Yeah. No, it's the same. No, we were this. I remember being
Yeah.
the same way as a kid, where it was
Yeah.
like I remember my dad calling me Captain Destructo because I would get toys, and they would inevitably break, or I would break them because I wanted it to do. It was a transformer, and I wanted it to bend in a different way, and so it would
It's not
break.
transforming.
Or GI Joes, and I would like pull the leg so hard that the little rubber band would break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Sure.
I don't know.
Stretch Armstrong so much that the syrup came out of them.
Yeah.
We never had a Stretch Armstrong.
We had the dog.
They would. I probably would have like gotten the kitchen scissors and cut them apart just to see what was in there.
Yeah. All right.
Like, why'd
so,
you do that? Oh no, it was in
I
there.
don't know. Let's see what's in there. Doesn't taste like syrup. So tech news. The iPhone 12 is going to launch on October the 13th. Pre-orders will go live on October the 16th.
What is the iPhone 12 bringing to the table?
Different camera, but LiDAR sensor apparently. But other than that,
LiDAR?
yeah, laser radar camera
what?
for the focus, I'm sure.
Oh.
Okay.
But past that, smaller battery.
So does that mean if I have a LiDAR detector in my car, it's just going to always go off because if I'm trying to
You're-
take like a picture while in my car?
You know, I don't think
That's
so. I don't know.
as a car guy,
I-
I disapprove.
Yeah,
I thought it was something you give to the kids to make sure they're telling the truth or not.
LiDAR. Yeah.
LiDAR detector.
Yeah. But yeah. So no 120 hertz screen, which all the other big Android guys have those. That'll probably be next year's on the iPhone 13. So I don't know. We'll see. We still got time. Some buyers. So this past week or last week or whatever, by the time the podcast comes out, Xbox Series X would have already gone on pre-order, and the Series S. I was reading a story that some buyers found it way too easy to purchase it. Come to find out, that's because they purchased an Xbox One X or the Xbox One S.
Oh, so their
So they
naming
were-
convention didn't go
backfired.
very well.
Oh yeah, didn't go well at all. People are like, I didn't have any problem buying it, and then you look back at your receipt, and you're like, it's because I pre-ordered an Xbox One X.
Didn't I say something?
Who
Yeah.
doesn't need
Me?
3 of those?
Did I say so? Okay. Maybe it was me. I don't know. Somebody said something. Could have been me. It could have been somebody else.
So by the time this podcast airs, Google will have announced the new Pixel 5 and the Chromecast with Google TV. You can actually go and, well, by the time this podcast comes up, you would have been able to pick it up 2 days early from Home Depot.
You see what you did there with the pick. Pick it up.
Pick it up. Oh, no, it's just up here. The 1 terabyte. So back to the Xbox stuff. The 1 terabyte expandable storage cards on the Series S and the Series X are going for $220.
$220.
Wow. Yeah, 73% the cost of the Xbox Series S. It's ridiculous. But they say it's because of the architecture. So to get the best possible gaming experience from an external drive, it's suggested that you use their card. This is a first party card though, so like nobody else has come up with their own versions yet.
We'll see how that goes.
I mean, I'm sure people will buy it because it's like, oh, it's Microsoft, it's guaranteed to work, But I mean, you can still use like your regular SSDs if you have external ones.
Microsoft, it's guaranteed to work. Do you know what happened yesterday with Microsoft?
Oh yeah, huge outage. Yeah.
Azure DevOps went down everywhere.
Yeah,
like everywhere. Like it's like right around 3:00, and I'm in a meeting, talking about stuff, and people are like, and we start getting like everybody's email starts blowing up, and like the people that are talking, you can hear like they have the sound on their computer, so you hear bing, pa-ching, 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 pa-ching. It was like, oh man, yeah. Way to go, Microsoft. Never breaks.
Mm-hmm. So Amazon's launching their own new cloud gaming service called Luna. It is a direct competition for Google Stadia and Microsoft xCloud.
Who's doing it?
Amazon.
They got the money to do it. I don't know if it'll. I mean,
it'll work because it's compatible with their Fire TV sticks.
Well, it'll also work because they're Amazon, and I'm sure that they'll probably do something and bundle it in with their Prime somehow.
Oh yeah,
just like even if you don't ever go on Twitch or do anything with it, there is every month you can subscribe to a Twitch channel for free with Amazon Prime.
What are on these channels?
Gamers mainly.
Okay. Yeah. Twitch is a big streaming site, so it's gamers. For the most part, it's gamers. One of the things that I watch on there is that live D&D game I've told you guys about, Critical Role.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's where they started. They stream live on Twitch on Thursdays, and then on Mondays they upload to YouTube.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, that's what I mean. But yeah, I mean, with Amazon being as big as it is, they're not just a book retailer. They haven't been just a book retailer in a long time. So,
and there's more about Amazon.
So
their security system Ring, their latest security system is now going to be a drone that flies inside your home.
What?
Yeah. So they have another security system that's coming out. It's going to cost $250. And it is a miniaturized drone that will fly around your house. So you have to when you set it up, you have to map your house. So it'll fly around your house and map it and all that stuff. It's the propellers are self-contained, so there's it won't chop things up or anything like that. And it has a little dock that it flies that it can land into and then charge itself. And when it's in the dock, the camera's hidden, so it's not going to record anything. You cannot control it manually, so it's all on autopilot whenever you set it up. So it's not like you can go and say you have like a Airbnb or something. You have a guest house that you Airbnb out. You cannot set this thing up to manually fly around the Airbnb, whether or not.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
I'm wondering if it looks like a beetle.
I don't know.
All the spy movies that come out. I don't know which one it was where they have the pilots in Arizona, but they're using a drone and taking out places in, Afghanistan or whatever. But the little cameras that fly around looking for the bad guys are like little beetles, so they're not quite like so obvious.
So obvious. I don't know. Is Alan frozen for you, or is it just me?
I think he's frozen for me too.
No. No, who knows? I don't know if I'd want a drone flying around my house. It seems weird. Not because especially since you can't, from what he said so far, like you can't manually control it or whatever. Is it just like a Sentry? Does it just like do a loop in your house and then go back and then do another loop or whatever?
Would be that it's like your alarm. You set your alarm when you leave and no one's in the house. This is patrolling the house. It's got to know your dogs, it's got to know your cats, your animals, but it just patrols. And then when you get home, what would the use of an indoor camera be when you're at home? Unless you're in your safe room.
Well, yeah, but a lot of these you can just look at stuff on your phone now. So if I was in my bedroom and the motion sensor goes off in the living room, I could look, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think it just gets kind of complicated. I can't think of a real practical use for having something like that. You know what I mean? Other than just a camera, other than just, it seems like it, that it does the same thing as a camera would do.
Look, maybe 10, 15 years in the future and put in facial recognition into that. So that when you're in your house, it's patrolling. When you're out, there's someone in here, and it can identify that person that you didn't know was going to be in there, or what have you.
Maybe.
So much, it just starts, right? It's just the beginning steps of all of it.
I don't know. It's one of those things, like right now, it doesn't seem like it would be a viable option for me when it's there. What happened?
And he's back.
I don't know. My computer, it crapped out, and the internet just dropped on it. So I'm resetting it.
So are you now on the work computer?
I am now on the work computer, yep.
It may behoove you to get a new computer. Something made in the last 10 years.
It's time, buddy. It's time.
It's right at the time that my credit's now in like really good standing. And now I'm having all these issues come up.
That's what it does. It happens all the time.
My weekend has to do with car repairs. Apparently, I'm going to have to get a new computer at some point. Ugh.
But you're making that big automotive
Toyota money.
Yeah, well, that Toyota money's got bills to go to.
I hear you.
But so I'm sorry, we dropped them when I was talking about the Ring security system.
Yeah, we were talking about it. So keep going.
So it was weird because I was reading it and they said like there was a tech reviewer, Walt Mossberg. I don't know who it is, but he tweeted is like, in a country with no laws regulating digital privacy, anyone who buys this from a company with a history of privacy problems is insane. What do you guys think? Would you want a drone flying around your house?
We were kind of talking about that. Right now, no. I don't see where a drone flying around my house would do more than having cameras in my house.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. If I really wanted, most people are want to have cameras and they want them outside, not necessarily inside. And if they do have them inside, they're going to have them inside, like in the common areas, like, living room, kitchen area, that kind of stuff.
The hidden
how creepy would that be with that? What? You just watch how creepy would it be when that thing's just flying around the house and it's just like looking, and then you go back the next day and it's just you're watching the video that recorded last night and it's just watching you sleep.
Yeah. Well, also, every drone that I've ever been around, whether big or small, they loud. It's not quiet. Do I want, it's not, and it makes a very specific sound. It's not a white noise kind of sound that you can just kind of drown out or whatever, like the sound of a fan or something like that. It's like, it's real shrill. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I've been on my balcony and heard at the old apartment, we had I remember going out on the balcony like at night, and I could hear somebody. Zzz, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and then I'm hearing a zzz, and there's a drone flying around. I'm like, "What are you guys doing at 11 o'clock at night?" And then I
Looking
see
at people's windows.
Yeah, and I point to it like, "What are you guys doing?" And of course,
yeah. It just wanders off. No, I don't see where I would want. I don't see it being practical at this point in time.
yeah. Well, they're also trying to put security cameras in cars as well, which
That makes much more sense to me.
yes, because like dash cams, for your own safety, and then as well, like somebody hit your car. Well, now you have a video proof, and they can't go, "Oh, you hit me." Like, no. This is exactly what happened because of my dash cam. At the same time, I can definitely see how it's going to backfire on the consumer, being like, they try to lie and go, "Well, I wasn't speeding." Like, no, your dash cam actually says you were. So,
Well, I think it all depends on that would then, I mean, that goes into property rights and things like that. They would have to subpoena that information from your vehicle.
That's true.
Just like they have to, if something is, if they think that you have evidence on your phone, they have to get a search warrant for the phone. It's that kind of a thing. So
And I honestly don't need my car recording me burying a body at 3 o'clock in the morning and where I'm at. I'm just saying.
The one thing that I mean, it all depends on how they work it. If it's a dash cam system, I have no problem with that. Even if it's inside the car, but you can choose when to and when not to record with, an app on your phone or something, to where it's like, okay, I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people record with their phones if they get pulled over for whatever reason, so they have their own evidence of their traffic stop or whatever. I think it'd be great if you could just pull up on the app on your phone, go to your whatever that setting is, and say record inside of car. Put your phone down and not even have to think about it. It's just going to record on its own. You don't have to point the camera at anybody. You don't have to put it in anybody's face. It's just, if it's on the rear view mirror of your car, it's going to get the driver, passenger, and back seats. I think that's a good idea. I can't, it all depends on how they do it. I mean, if it's always recording, I don't like that. How much data does it consume? All of that kind of stuff. There's all sorts of questions.
Well, I think the article I read said something along the lines of, being able to say like, "Hey," I'm not going to say it because I think you guys have Alexas, but like, "Hey, I'm being pulled over," and then the camera turns on and starts recording everything.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine to have. I mean, it's one of those things, but just realize that anything that you record can always be used for other stuff. I've had, I mean, back in the early 2000s, I had friends that were cheating on spouses or cheating on significant others and would post stuff online and and it was and got caught, and it's like, dude, if you don't want something known, don't write it down.
I mean, how many times have we seen
that up there?
Yeah, how many times have we seen like the crimes committed and people are videotaping it, or they're recording it and posting it on Facebook, like, "Oh man, we just beat the shit out of this old guy," and then they like post a live video on Facebook. It's like, what are you saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
what are you
3
doing?
o'clock in the morning, you don't know what's happening.
I think we talked about this, but we talked about it last time offline. And there's stuff that they're like with the rioters and stuff in that have been going on in Portland and stuff like that. There are a lot of stories out there where people are getting identified by. There was a no. So there's that, but there was a lady who was wearing a shirt, and they tried to identify this woman, and she was wearing, it was a very specific shirt. I can't remember what exactly the shirt said, but they found the shirt on Etsy. And this woman left like a positive review on Etsy because they already they had a lead that they thought it was her, and they wanted to make sure. So they were able to go to this Etsy store, see that she wrote a comment on it, subpoena the records from the Etsy store showing that she bought this very specific kind of very unique shirt, get the sales records of how many shirts had been sold and to where, and identify her without the shadow of a doubt that, yes, that is you in this video because of the shirt you're wearing, because there's only one shirt that was being worn in the Portland. We only, 3 were sent to Oregon and 1 was sent to Portland or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was really cool. How many are those you're going to have up, dude?
I don't know, but can we have too much
Too much
dark
Allen?
chocolate?
Yes.
Too much Allen?
Yes.
But then there's the other thing where it's they identified somebody who was selling weed and probably other drugs on the dark web, like on Silk Road, or even if that's even still a thing, I have no idea. And what they did is there was a picture of him and he was holding weed in his hand. And because of the cameras that are on all of our phones, they're super high def and great resolution. So they were able to zoom in on this guy's fingerprints and run it through their fingerprint machine and figure out who he was, and then went and arrested him.
Yeah.
Because he was selling drugs online, which apparently it carries a much stiffer penalty.
Oh.
Especially because it's probably transporting over state lines and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's one of those things. So if you don't show your fingerprints online, because they'll get you, apparently.
Apparently so.
Dun, dun, dun.
So my last little bit of news here. So Joe Rogan, we all know, he just bought a $14.4 million house in Lake Austin.
Nice.
Spotify is said to be trying to cancel him due to employees promising to go on strike.
Why?
Because of the controversial controversial podcast episodes that he's had with Milo Yiannopoulos, or however you pronounce the guy's last name, Alex Jones, and a couple other people.
So has he had those podcasts recently?
No, not recent. Well, Alex Jones has been on recently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Milo goes, I don't know when the last time he's been on.
What were the topics?
There's really never a topic with Joe Rogan. I mean, it's just he has like a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah.
Who are the people then? I guess I don't know these names.
Conspiracy theorists, some, and
super right-wing kind of Looney Tunes on the other.
And then even, I mean, like, oh crap, the comedian. Just drew a blank on his name. But there was another comedian that he's had on the podcast before, and Joey Diaz, yeah, Perez, Joey Diaz, where he has Joey Diaz, his comedy and a lot of the stuff he's talked about on his podcast has been about his upbringing, but then also like very racy things in his upbringing, just stuff he's done in the past. That,
I mean, he
frowned upon now.
He used
not frowned upon, but yeah.
According to Joey Diaz on the podcast that I've listened to, he's done a lot of coke. He kidnapped a guy. He went to prison for kidnapping a guy. It was, I mean, there's lots of stuff that happened. Yeah. But it's one of the, but yeah, listen, if Spotify, here's the thing, Joe Rogan has enough money that if whatever Spotify has paid him, I'm sure that he had a team of lawyers go over that contract. Oh, sure. It wasn't just a handshake deal. It's like, I get to do my podcast the way that it's always been done, and the only thing I'm doing is it's no longer on. I don't even know how it works, because I thought it was going to be. Well, it's still on YouTube. It's still on Apple Podcasts, because that's where I still, they still show up in my feed. I mean, I don't know if it's one of those where it's kind of like they have an exclusivity for 48 hours or what their thing is, because that's what Twitch does. So if you stream something on Twitch, they have exclusive content for, it's like 48 or 72 hours.
Yeah. You know what I listen to on Spotify?
Music?
We listen to.
I listen to The Weekend from A to Z.
Hey, all right.
Oh, well, you're then skewing our numbers.
Yeah.
So now
you
we
know,
don't
the-
know how many listens we have.
The other interesting thing I was going to say is that like he just signed $100 million deal in May. So
Yeah.
I mean, and like Justin, like you said, I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of lawyers that have looked through this
Yeah, had to have been on both sides.
on both sides. Yeah, for sure.
On both sides. So if Joe Rogan had done something wrong, or did who knows what there, or it could have been. I mean, he seems to be the guy from all of the podcasts that I've listened to where he's like, I just do stuff that I want, and if you don't like it, I say no.
Yeah.
So for him to do something like this, it had to have made sense for him to go like, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and I can do whatever I want, however I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And if they try to pull the plug on it, I'm sure there's going to be there'll be a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
But
So many other ways for him to be heard. You're missing out, Spotify, for the traffic that he brings to you. So
well,
I don't think anything's been decided yet.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. Like, employees are mad and they're going to leave.
They're going to go on
What I
strike.
say is, I mean, that's one of those things where I wouldn't necessarily call him journalism, like in the traditional sense, but you have, it kind of goes to me. It's one of those like freedom of the press things. You don't
I used to
have to
listen-
pay him to do it. You don't have to pay him to do it, but I mean, he can say whatever he wants.
listen to Howard Stern and terrestrial radio for a long time. He
Uh-huh.
couldn't get away with anything that he wanted. So yeah, I don't know the difference. But if you've got that kind of company that wants to not put that out, then it's your right.
Yep. I guess we'll see what happens. But that's all the news I've got.
Sweet. So I'll pick up a news. This just kind of came out today. Who remembers the Mavericks in 2010 to 2012?
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Do you remember Delonte West?
Yes.
So
No.
Delonte West, very controversial kind of figure, has always had kind of mental problems. Was a super out there guy. Mark Cuban, this either yesterday or today, the guy's homeless. He was a millionaire. Homeless. He was at, I think, Forest and 75 at a gas station.
Seriously?
And
Wow.
Mark Cuban, in the story that I saw this morning, was Mark Cuban drove up in his Tesla, picked him up, and took him somewhere.
Huh.
Apparently, he's had problems with drugs and alcohol and mental problems and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, number one, I hope that he gets whatever help that he needs, whether it's addiction problems
Yeah.
or finance problems or mental
Too
health
bad he didn't get
problems or
that
whatever.
health when he was a millionaire.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully he gets the help that he needs. But how fucking cool is Mark Cuban?
Pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely cool guy.
Ever since the day he bought the Mavericks, I've enjoyed how him picking the guys up in limos, just the things that he's done, the chairs that he brought for them to sit on. It was just, he's a pretty cool guy.
well, the fact that he's like, I mean, that and the fact that like he was super outspoken as an owner and would get fined by the NBA a lot and would pay their fine and then pay whatever that money was to a charity as well.
Mhm.
I mean, if we had to have a billionaire for president, why wasn't it that guy?
It's not too late. Oh, maybe this year, but
Yeah.
I think that they've talked about him doing that in the past, though.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I all I can say is that I mean, from everything that I've ever heard of or seen, I mean, the fact that he goes and he picks up this former NBA player, it was a player of his who only played his last actual NBA games with the Mavericks because he was, and I can't remember the term that they used for why they let him go, but I mean, they let him go because he was kind of a loose cannon, I mean, it was like, like something along the lines of like unbecoming, acts unbecoming of a player or something along those lines. But sees this guy's hurting. he hears about it and he went himself to pick up this guy.
Yeah.
That's super impressive to me. I mean, it just says a lot about who he is as a person and everything that he does. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's definitely cool. Scott, you got any F1 news?
Well, you know what? I'm going to pull a little bit. I'm going to do something. I'm going to ask for a little bit of leeway here. I am not going to do F1 news. I kind of want to do something else. I wanted to give a little honor to a kid that in. Can we see what I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Yes.
To a kid that was man, dude, it's hard to say. So EJ on the right-hand side is the son of Earl Rose, and Earl coached Caden from 5 years old to 12. EJ, the past year and a half, maybe a little bit longer than that, I'm not sure the timeline, had been fighting leukemia. And 3 days ago, he beat the leukemia, but the help me out here, I can't think right now. The
Effects of the
chemo, the effects of the chemo really took a toll on his organs, and he passed away. So these two, Earl, what a great guy. You could tell that his son loved him. They did everything. If you were to go on Earl's Facebook page, they traveled all over to see football games. Coach Rose played for San Francisco for a short time. He's been a coach in the area for the Allen indoor team. But EJ, that whatever coach instilled in him, EJ was, he really fought hard for what he wanted. And the one big lesson that I learned from Coach Rose was never underestimate a kid. At 5 years old, when they were, I think it was the second or third game, the referee came up to Coach and goes, "Hey, you can get on the field with the rest of the kids," as all the other coaches do, placing the kids in the place. And Coach goes, "No, I'm good. I'll sit right here." And he would sign the plays in, and these 5-year-old kids would get in place and run the play. And it was because he had that confidence in him. And I can only imagine the confidence that he instilled in his son. For EJ Rose, you've seen in my background in memory of EJ Rose. I just want to play a little tribute to him today.
Yeah, man, go for it.
So, hope for the best of his family.
Yeah, that's it's really hard news, and our thoughts go out to their family, and I'm glad that he's no longer hurting and doesn't have to fight like that anymore and deal with that suffering. So, I mean, that's how old was he when he passed?
15.
Jeez, that's
young.
That's rough, and I'm sorry that I can only imagine what it would be like to lose a kid that old. So, I mean, my son's 15. I don't know what I'd do. Really sorry. Wow.
I can't imagine how Coach feels. I know that for me, it's been a tough couple of weeks. One, because I know this family so well. I've known them for a long time. And I just, man, I wish Coach the best. And if you're ever need to talk to someone, I know you know my number. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's anytime stuff like this happens, whether it's something like this or somebody gets really ill or something like that, the only thing I can say is just, remember to talk to the people that you love and tell them that you love them, because, no one's promised tomorrow. So you just gotta make sure those that you love know that you love them. And
one other thing I'd like to add to that add to this story is leukemia is a tough one. I wish I had done a little bit of research before I came up here today, but from what I know, it's cancer of the bone or bone marrow or something to that effect. And bone marrow transplants are very difficult to find, and donors are very difficult to find. So, next week I'll have a little bit of information for you guys to be able to donate. And the African American community is, I think, from what I was understanding when we went to go try to donate, that is where they need the most. So, yeah. So I'll get some more information out for you next week, guys and listeners, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thanks, man.
Weekends?
Yeah. Justin, you want to start?
Sure. I slept all weekend. I don't know what it was.
It's a
I don't know
long
if it
sleep.
was
Like a big old bear.
damn near. Let's see. I woke up on it's one of those things. So, I have 2 cats, and those cats they're used to getting fed about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning is when I normally get up and, during the week, and I feed them and all that stuff. Well, on the weekends, they don't know that it's the weekend. And so by like 6:30, they're like, I have cats like on my face. Like, hey, stupid, wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
So I woke up at on Saturday, I woke up at 6 and fed them. And then I was up for 3 hours, up until about 9. I mean, not really doing anything, just kind of like dicking around, watching YouTube videos, kind of crap like that. And then went back to sleep at 9, and then didn't wake up until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just
So
out.
jealous.
Just out. And that's not me. That's not the type. That's not how I do stuff. And then, we didn't do, what did we do Saturday? My wife wanted to make some, Halloween decorations.
Okay.
Like she likes to make she made a wreath for our door.
Yeah.
That's it's orange and brown herringbone ribbon, and it has like a skull and a spider web and all that kind of stuff. She likes to do that kind of stuff. So she did that on Saturday. We didn't really do much of anything. We just kind of hung out. And then Sunday, we were going to, I need a new desk, just because we have no idea how much longer this is going to happen, and I'm going to be working from home and stuff. So it's like, all right, I need a new desk. I need to, get our office kind of more situated. So we were going to go to IKEA, and about the time that we were going to go, our air conditioner crapped out.
Oh.
I replaced the air conditioner last June.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was recent.
Yeah, I replaced it in June of 19. So apparently what it is, there with this new AC, I didn't change the filter like I should have been changing the filter. And it has a sensor on it where if that sensor gets wet, like if the line gets blocked, and instead of going into in the old ACs, there would be like a drip pan that it would just kind of roll over into, and then it would flood basically that drip pan if it wasn't, but the AC would keep running. Well, this one, if water touches that drip pan in the pipe, or it touches that sensor in the pipe, it turns it off, like just shuts it down. I had no idea that's what it was or what it did. And so what we did, so we had the guy come out, and it was Sunday, so they charged us an arm and a leg. Well, they didn't charge us an arm and a leg. I mean, the service fee was like $99 for the weekend service. And then it was to do the maintenance on it was $300. And then we signed up for an annual $200 maintenance plan, basically. So now twice a year, I'm going to have them come out and, just do their normal inspection and all of that stuff, and make sure that everything is the way it should be.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where like, I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't, and of course Sunday was like the hot. I mean, it was only 90 outside, but still that's the hottest it had been in a week. So it was like my house got hot. I got into cranky ass mood. After they had come and gone, my wife was like, well, do you want to go get something to eat? We can still try and run out to IKEA. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go.
Grumpy bear.
Fuck everything. And it's weird because I've been grumpy. Like, I think we talked about it before we started recording.
That makes two of us.
It's like, we've been in quarantine for 6 months. I can count on, I've been out of my house to do social things. 7-8 times in 6 months, which usually, we're the weekend from A to Z. We usually go out every weekend or do something or go to the movie or go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And just not being able to do that, it's really starting to, weigh on me where it's like, I want to be ungrounded. You know what I mean? It's like,
I unground you.
Yes. Thanks, Dad. But it's one of those things where it's like, I still know what I need to do to be safe. I still know why we're doing this stuff. I'm not, there's no vaccine. There's nothing's different. We're of the global population. We have 20%. The United States of America has 20% of the recorded deaths due to COVID. And that's insane to me. For what I usually consider one of the greatest countries in the world, if not the greatest. So it's just a strange, I'm starting to feel that pissed off kind of
Get out
thing.
Go. You're free.
I'm gonna.
It's
one of those things.
Do what you know you need to do. Do your mask, whatever you feel need to.
Oh, I know.
To do it and get out, because I have not been grounded, and I'm stupidly. I don't know. There's other things that I'm kind of down about too, but yeah, I definitely don't get. I'm not grounded myself.
I'm not grounded, but I've been.
As I say that, you go out next. Never mind. Yeah,
I'm in the grumpy spot that Justin's in.
It's one of those things where it's like,
but I got you guys.
I think it's one of those. I think it's just one of those where it's like, I'm going to. I have to start going out more and doing stuff, just because it's. Again, like I said, I've been good. If I think, and I'm not trying to like shit on people or whatever, but it's like, if I have been. If everyone did what I did, hopefully this thing would have been gone by now, or we'd have been much less, we wouldn't have been as bad. And, I have the luxury of being able to work from home and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm just at that point now where it's like, I'm much more extroverted than I get to be. And there's only so much that you can do when it's like, and part of me wants to just like throw my hands up and say, fuck it, I'm going to go do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nah, I can't, I'm going to go to a bar and I'm just going to, I'm going to pretend like it's the way it was. And I can't do that. I haven't been able to find that happy median yet. So that's what I have to do. I just need to start moving more toward.
If anything, just go for a drive. Just go for a drive. Maybe a 2-hour drive and come back home. Dude, but getting out, you definitely need to.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I can do it. It's just, getting over those speed bumps in my brain.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what it was. I spent a lot of money on an air conditioner that I didn't want to spend any money on because I've already spent that money. But yeah, we just have to make sure, again, if you can get a service plan or whatever. And I'd never, before we had the house, I lived in an apartment and we never had our AC here serviced because it always worked. And it was always it was an older system, so it never cooled as well as our system cools. But I never thought anything of it.
Yeah,
I think about it now. Stupid responsibility.
My kids they do weird stuff every once in a while, and they have pulled their beds into the upstairs den. I don't know if you want to call it a den. I feel like that's an upstairs loft or something. Yeah, they've been sleeping out there for a couple of weeks, or almost a week and a half. But so none of them like light. The little pin light, the little LED on the fire alarm bothers all of them. So the thermostat.
Tell them to
has a
close
big
their
screen.
eyes.
Right. But the thermostat has a display and it's bright, right? So my wife went over there and put a piece of paper around it. And when she did, it knocked the thermostat controller off. And I'm sitting in the office the past 2 days going, oh my goodness, I can't. It's not it's
Sweltering
so
here.
hot.
What's going on?
What's going on? And yeah, I don't know why I didn't check the AC before then. But yeah, so when I went over there to see what was going on, there was this little sign saying, oh, hide the dark. Hide from the dark. And then I took that off and I noticed it. So we're good to go. So yeah, I can understand. That was my grumpiness.
Yeah, no, listen, I get it. It's well, and especially like living in Texas, I could not live in a more northern state. I mean, even like anywhere where they don't have central heating, central AC. Because when it I mean, I don't give a damn if I use it all the time or not all the time, but the last thing I want is
I want it just in case.
I don't want it to be 90 degrees outside and me sweating my sack off
Having to
in
sit
my
by the
own
window
house.
unit. Yeah.
No, in my own house, because all we have is a heater and stupid fans.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I never use it, I want to have it for that time, that twice a year where it has to happen. Just like here. I mean, it doesn't get super cold here, but you know what? I like having a heater and being able to keep my home at 68 degrees consistently.
Yep.
When I'm in the house, it doesn't have to be super hot, but I want it to be, I want it to be comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Igloo for me.
Igloo, you have to have it cold.
Oh man, I'm a big old
Just
bear.
when I sleep. When I sleep, it's got to be cold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I put it at usually in the summertime, like hot summer, I the house is at 75, and then at night I'll put it down to like 72, and then it'll, now that it's cooling off outside, I'll put it down to 70 at night. And once we get into the winter months and you kind of have to have, it be warmer, I just keep it at 68 when we're home.
Yeah.
And that's just where it lives. It lives at 68. And when we're not home, that's the other thing that I love. I mean, I have to say, if those out there that live in older homes or apartments or whatever that don't have a Wi-Fi enabled thermostat, like a Nest or something like that. Dude, I had no idea what it was like until I got one last year.
Yeah.
And it's so much better to be able to, like,
I'm about to be home in 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and cool off the house before I show up.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm especially like in the wintertime where it's like, all right, well, we have a couple of cats here, so I'm going to keep it at, I'll keep it at 62. So I'm not going to just turn it off or whatever, but I'll put it down at like 62 when we're not home. And it's like, all right, well, I'm heading home, so I'm going to put it to 68, the normal temperature I would. And it, by the time I get home, it's about 66, 67 degrees, and it's nice and warm, and everything's, everything's great. I love, and leaving in the, in the summertime or whatever, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to put it up at 80. I can deal with that. But then when I'm driving home, I'm going to put it to 75 and everything's cool. I'm saving a little bit on my electric bill.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. That's what I did with my Nest thermostat. But like in this unit we've got now, we have two thermostats. So there's like one like right around the corner, and then the other one's upstairs. And I don't want to go out and buy a second Nest thermostat. So none of them are hooked up. It's just, but these ones are, at least they're digital, so that's nice. And they live at about 70 degrees all day, every day.
Man, I'm sure you can get those Nest thermostats to talk to each other, can't you?
I'm sure. No. But that's the thing. So these ones are, I don't know, some other digital. It's not an automatic. It's not a learning thermostat. They're just Honeywell, whatever they stick in the houses. I have a Nest one, but I just didn't put it in the wall. So
get another one and put it in there. They're what, like $100?
No, they're like, well, I don't know. They might have dropped the price by now. We'll see.
I would do it.
I gotta get my.
It would be to do that.
I gotta get my car. things situated.
All right. Well, let's talk about your weekend.
Yeah, so my weekend, Friday, I went out to Kraken Motorsports in Fort Worth to go take my car to have them check out the stupid freaking check engine light that I'm getting. Still got it. As soon as I dropped my car off, the owner came up to me and he was like, hey, he just explained to me, like, look, not that I don't want your business, but this is a dealership gonna have to do this. Like, because of the way Subaru does their cars, yada, 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 when you replace like a timing component, cam gear, camshaft, you have to replace the ECU so that, and then they reprogram the whole thing. I was like, we don't have the tool to do it here. So my car's now at Brandon Thomas Subaru in McKinney. They have called me twice today. The second time they called me today, they're like, you're going to have to return the car to stock so we can actually diagnose the problem. We don't work on tuned cars. And I was like, listen, you guys referred me out to Fort Worth. And Fort Worth referred me back to you guys and said, hey, the owner of Fort Worth shop said, talk to the lead technician at your dealership. He will know, like, we've discussed the problem. He knows what to look for. It's a cam gear. Change the cam gear, change the ECU. That should solve your problem. So I don't know. The dealership's being really reluctant in doing it. With that being said, I've talked to, I went back and called the shop today and was like, hey, here's the deal. The dealership doesn't want to do this. They want me to return the car to stock, which I don't have all the stock parts. So I don't know what to do. And so they're going to talk to the guy at the dealership again. They're like, look, we'll give him a call. And because we've already checked out the car, I think we might be able to,
I'm asking you to put new camshafts in. I'm going to pay.
I'm the customer. Yes, I am the customer.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. So that was Friday. I drove out to Fort Worth and immediately drove right back. I was off on Friday, so it didn't matter. That's pretty much it for Friday. We watched it. Yeah, no.
Do you think it's Brandon Thomas, or do you think it's like, could you go to a different Subi dealership and see what it is?
I went to Plano Ewing Subaru in Plano. They literally kept my car all day, did nothing. And then at the end of the day, they're like, your ECU was locked. We couldn't get into it. But you can come by and pick it up. So I went there to go pick, this is like weeks ago. I went there to go pick it up. Everything's fucking closed. They're all gone. I'm like, what? So I went up talking to the lady at the front desk, who she's just reception. She doesn't.
Oh yeah, I remember you told us about that. But so my question is, now that you have this information from Brandon Toms, would you take it to? Do you think that it's Brandon Toms that's not wanting to do it, or do you think it's Subaru?
I think at this point it would be okay. So I want to say the mistake that I made was because I emailed Subaru of America and was like, "Hey, this is an issue with your cars. Like, do a quick Google search. You're going to find 100 threads with this stuff, and nobody has a fix for it, except your crazy 29-page diagnostic on here's what to do to possibly fix the problem." So, and so I told them, like, hey, I went to this dealership, and they said it was tune related. It's not tune related because I went out to a tune shop, and they're like, nope, it's the door on the back of the camshaft, or the door on the back of the cam gear is the issue. So I think at this point right now, I think it's just the dealership doesn't want to. They don't want to take the time to do it because I think they don't want to be liable for, like, hey, we replaced the cam gear like you said, and they're still having this issue. And at the same time, because of the way that the ECUs are coded, you have to imprint the ECU with the VIN number and blah 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 when you change out any of the timing components, because something about the timing components has there's not chips embedded in them or anything like that, but just something about the timing components. The ECU looks for a certain code off the timing components. And if the codes don't match, then the car doesn't run right. And so tune shops, like the one that Kraken Motorsports, where they specialize in Subarus, they're like, we can't do it. He's like, I feel comfortable changing a cam gear for you. That's not an issue. It's just when it comes down to, we replace the cam gear, now we have to code the ECU. We don't have the tool to code the ECU. So he was like, I'd have to send you to the dealership anyways. So rather than take your money here to replace the cam gear and then send you to the dealership to where they're going to take your money again, he's like, just have the dealership do it all.
Well, I'm glad that, it's good that Kraken is being, upfront with it, or, and being honest with it. That's good. Definitely. It's better than them being like, oh, well, we can't help you at all, or or doing exactly that. Like, oh yeah, we did this, but you're still going to have the code until you go back to the dealership. I have to say, and it's and this makes me. We've talked about it here before, where I'm thinking about getting a different car other than a Subaru or whatever, and it's shit like that that makes me want to do that. Do you know what I mean? And this gets more into the there's a huge movement, the right to fix kind of movement. I'm sorry, not right to fix, right to repair movement. I've watched a couple documentaries on it and stuff like that. Vice has a really good one where it's John Deere is saying that their software is proprietary, and so these guys, you know, they go out and they buy this $500,000 machine tractor to work on their thing, and stuff goes wrong with it and they can't fix it themselves anymore. You know, you can't, and that's the stuff where it's like, but because they're, you know, it's all software related, big companies like Apple and anybody who makes a phone gets really big into this because they don't want other people being able to repair and getting into their software. They don't want people getting in their software. So it's like, it's a really weird situation. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Subaru's doing that and they're being kind of shitty about it, when you're like, listen, I just want you to do, I remember going to Subaru, and all I wanted, like, I was changing out, I didn't have time to do it myself. I was gonna have them change out rotors, brake pads, and put on stainless steel brake lines, and use a higher brake fluid, a .4 fluid.
Yeah.
And they refused. I was like, I have all these parts. I have these Stop Tech brakes. I have these EBC yellow stuff things. I have these braided
stainless steel lines. Yeah.
I have that. I just want you to put that stuff in. And like, no, we don't do. We have to use our stuff. And it's like, really?
Yeah. They won't even, like, even if you bring like Model 8100, that's what I run in the car, and if I bring it to the dealership, they won't do it.
No. And it's weird, especially when you start getting into the, you know, mods and stuff where you're like, where you do have to flash the ECU and do all of that stuff. And they're like, no, we're not going to service this warranty anymore because you flashed the ECU or you've done whatever. And it's like, you know, it takes the joy out of having a car for a hobbyist it takes the joy out of working on your car, because I can't do anything without pissing somebody off, or now the ECU's bad, or now I've, you know, everything's locked up and I can't do anything with it because of whatever reasons.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's kind of where I'm at too. Cause it's just like, dude, I'm paying for it. Just do these two things. Change the cam gear, give me a new ECU, and
do what Nike does.
My problem goes away, and guess what? I'm not coming back to you guys going, you know, fix it. But the other thing that kind of ticks me off is like, well, you have to return. They're telling me, the dealership's telling me you have to return the car to stock. It's like, you guys are going to charge. I'm going to have to pay for that to return it back to stock. Then I have to like limp it up to the dealership or tow it up there. You guys are going to diagnose the problem. You're going to charge me for that. And then I'm going to, as soon as you guys fix the problem, I'm going to take all that stuff right back off.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the stock. It's not the parts. That's the issue. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. So we'll see what the dealership says tomorrow. Past that, this weekend, we watched a couple movies with Isaiah. So in the weekends, what we try to do during the week, we'll read to him before going to bed. And then on the weekends, it's like, you know, let's watch some old like Disney movies. So we've watched, I think last night what did we watch last night? Oh, we didn't watch anything last night. He kind of put himself to bed. We read a book. But I mean, we've watched like 101 Dalmatians. We watched Aladdin.
Arabian Nights.
Jungle Book, I think. And we watched Alice in Wonderland. That's the one we watched recently. So I think next we're going to do Peter Pan, but we'll see.
Hey, do you know why Peter Pan flies?
Because he can never land?
Yes.
Because if someone hit your Peter with a pan, you'd fly too.
Okay.
I like hanging out with you, Alan.
So Saturday was we're waiting for a friend to have their baby, so that was kind of Saturday. We went to Costco, watched a different Disney movie, took a walk, the family, hung out on the balcony, went to Rudy's in the morning on Saturday. Gave Scott one of the new flavors of Bang Energy.
Yeah, I was going to mention that
Key
in my
lime
weekend.
pie.
It was so good. I think I could taste the graham cracker crust.
Scott, would
Really?
you say that the energy drink was banging?
It was-
Ooh.
It was bang on, brother.
Bang on, brother. Okay. Sunday we watched church online and kind of just stayed in, but yeah, that's pretty much the weekend.
Nice.
We made these. So we had these little clay mold things to like put Isaiah's handprint in,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
those are fun.
yeah, well, we got it from this website that had it for like really cheap, but the mold is the clay that they're using is kind of rubbery. So like overnight, it did harden a little bit overnight, but then it's like the indention of his handprint kind of softened a little bit. So I don't know. We'll have to buy some different clay off of like Amazon or something. But
Did
he
you put his
enjoyed it.
name around it and everything.
No, we didn't do anything like that. But I've seen the kits on Amazon, so we'll probably do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Right on.
But yeah, that's pretty much the weekend.
Nice. Mr. Scott.
So my weekend was, you guys, for the listeners, I'm feeling a lot of pressure here. I feel like I need to get out in the world and entertain you guys. It is the weekend, and watching movies just doesn't do it for me. But that's what this weekend was. Watched Enola Holmes. I don't know if y'all seen that or seen the ads for it on Netflix.
I've seen the ads. I've seen the ads.
Highly, highly recommend it. It was
Okay.
very well done. I thought it was going to be a series, but it makes sense knowing who's in it now, that it's just a movie. But I really hope that they make another one. Really enjoyed it. We watched it. I think my daughter, my wife, and I. My son didn't want anything to do with it. Saturday, Rudy's, got to drink some key lime pie. Oh my goodness, dude. You don't understand what key lime pie means to me in my life. But yeah, it was so good. I think I could taste the graham cracker crust along with the key lime pie itself. It was very well done. So went to Rudy's, came home, finished up The Boys this weekend.
Mhm.
Wait. So all the episodes are out?
No.
Or just
they're
the episodes that are
They're one at a time.
No, I'm going to wait then.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to hear that.
No, I'm in the same boat. I want to be able to binge them in like a day or two. I'm the same way. I'm doing the same thing with Lovecraft Country. I watched that first episode and it was amazing. And it was like, oh, you have to wait till next week. And it's like, oh, I can do stuff like that on especially during quarantine. It's like, all right, well, I got a weekend. I can use one of those days to spend, 5-6 hours and just get through something.
I'm going to go back to a comment that I made last week. I enjoy them releasing them one at a time because I think it brings to the community, your friends. You talk about, did you see the episode last night? As long as y'all are obviously watching it, I like that aspect of it. When you're binging, it's like on your own time. Did you watch it? By the time that you watch it, I've already forgot most of it because I got a horrible memory. But I enjoy talking about a show weekly, or I remember those days. Going to school and did you see
the thing that I
remember Game of Thrones.
Here's the thing, I like all of that, but I like it on like a regular station. I can do with or even a cable station, but when it's all when it's on a streaming platform, it's like, just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Watch out behind you.
Yeah, I see my giant tiger, my 22-pound cat.
Oh my. Sunday, Frisco Diner, they started putting the stuff back on the tables this week. That was kind of a nice pace. Instead of little bitty, they didn't have the syrup. The syrup was still in individual packages.
Mm-hmm.
But previously you had to ask for individuals, your salt. They gave you little individual packets, pepper, same thing, and all that. So they started putting stuff back on the tables. I think from what I understand, everything's open up to 75% now.
Okay.
Yeah, restaurants are up to 75%. Businesses are like office buildings are 75%. Bars are still closed. I think
No.
I think
know-
that has more to
Hmm.
do with Greg Abbott than an issue with COVID. Because bars were open for a little while in June when the restrictions were being lifted, and as soon as he put the mask mandate in place, he shut them down. So we haven't seen what bars would be like without a mask mandate. We have no idea how they would be functioning or anything along those lines. So I don't know if it would be
Is interesting.
I don't know. It's one of those things because if you go to a restaurant or something like that, you walk in with your mask on, right? And you go sit down at your table, and at some point you take your mask off while you're with the people you're with, and you eat your food and do all of that stuff. And before you get up and leave, you put your mask on. And even if you have to get up and go to the bathroom, you put your mask on and you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, whatever it is. I don't know what bars would be like because we haven't gotten to that place yet.
But don't you just limit them to the 75, 50% capacity?
I would think that you could, but I think that's Governor Abbott.
I mean, I can't see where putting a hamburger in front of my drink makes any difference at all.
Yeah, no, I think it's his way of chastising the bar industry. Kind of this is all my opinion, and I have no basis for it. But the religious right, or the silent majority of people that don't like. I mean, hell, dude, we're still one of the few states in the nation that still have blue laws, where you can't you can't sell alcohol before noon on a Sunday, and liquor stores are by law. Liquor stores are closed on Sundays. I mean, we're one of the few states that still have that stuff. I mean, it's and it's not like it stops anybody from drinking on Sunday. It just means that you got to get your, if I'm going to want to drink liquor on Sunday, it means I have to go buy it on Saturday. If I'm going to have a party at my house and want to have beer before noon, it means I need to get that beer before somebody makes a beer run on Sunday. I got to buy that on Saturday, so before people make a beer run on Sunday. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, this speaks to my heritage. My great grandfather was a moonshine runner from Richardson, Texas, to Austin, and supplied the government with their booze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
During Prohibition. Yeah, my granddad. Yep. My granddad. Well, he was just an old hillbilly, but he had a still on the back. So, up in North Carolina. So, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you have. I don't see any reason, and the stuff that the people that it's hurting are, the people that it's hurting don't deserve it, especially it's hurting distilleries. It's hurting people like that, where it's they can't have people come to a tasting room because their tasting rooms are closed because they're not allowed to be open because they consider that a bar.
Yeah.
And then they've made this the 50-51 rule, where, and they've laxed the stuff on that, but there's a lot of bars who didn't have kitchens, so they can't open up and serve food because they don't have a kitchen to do that, or the city won't let them use a food truck as their food provider. Mm-hmm. It's just really bizarre.
Truck Yard did it right, huh? Just have a little bitty cubby hole for a kitchen, and then you just bring in the food trucks. So, yeah, I'm missing that place.
They were the last time we tried to go there, they were closed. I guess they're open back up now.
Yep, closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So if we were wanting to go out and record, it'd be like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday kind of deal.
I don't know if there are any. So that's the one up in Carrollton, but I don't know about the one in Dallas. I don't know if that one's open yet. I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know how that's working out. But I mean, it just sucks that it's that. again, I think that we're going to get a jump in COVID cases regardless. We have, especially here at the holiday season, because people are.
And you got flu season coming up too.
You have flu season. You have people going to. I mean, you have Halloween, which.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There's people that are gonna, trick or treating and all of that stuff. You have Thanksgiving, which is going to be difficult for people to. I mean, that's always
Black
a big
Friday.
Black Friday. And then you have Christmas. And so
Christmas Santa.
all of that stuff is social stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's Christmas parties and holiday parties that everybody,
Festivus.
we've done a job well done this year. So we're going to treat ourselves for an evening, or, we're going to have a casino night or whatever that businesses do. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. It'll be weird.
I like me some turkey.
Anything else on weekends, guys?
No, man, that's all I got.
No. All right. You guys want
I
to take
will,
a?
I will bring you more. I will venture out and go on an adventure somewhere this weekend.
Okay. You
Okay.
do that.
You guys
I do
wanna-
have a. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I've got a question for the day. I know we're trying to head out early, guys, because we want to
Yeah.
see the train wreck tonight.
We'll see. Is this the one that Joe Rogan's hosting?
I don't know. No, I
No.
don't think this.
Oh.
No, we'd love to see that one.
Okay.
But I got a topic wheel for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so it might be the question to wrap everything up when we're done. So yeah, if y'all want to take a break or however you want to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, man, let's take a quick break.
I said, send. We're on.
And we're back. Anyway, so of course, for our listeners and viewers out there, the
We're
four
down
of
a
us, yeah. So the four of us have a text group that where we just kind of post stuff throughout the day, and just random stuff that we talk about on the podcast, other stuff that we don't talk about. And I gotta say, I don't know where JT's not here today. He had work stuff to deal with, which is, everybody has had to deal with that before. JT just had text a couple of random questions today that kind of, I mean, we all answered the question for the most part, but it was just so random, like out of left field. His question was, is there a preferred orientation to eating a baked cookie?
And I thought to myself, what do you mean preferred? Or did you eat the cookie? I don't understand what you
Round
mean.
in the
So,
bowl.
and what I said
the
was
round end first. I don't know.
So what I said was flat side down. So there's the side that was on the tray.
Mhm.
So this is the cookie, and it's got the hump where the chocolate chips and all of the goodness live, and the part
The
that was on the
goodness.
pan is down here.
Yeah.
And I take it and I eat it like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what if there's frosting on it? What? So you're going to flip the... He said, he was saying that if there's more flavor in the frosting, so he would flip it over.
Would you want the frosting on your tongue first?
Yeah.
See, it's
and
way
eat it that
too
way.
sweet for just one condensed bite. You kind of need to break it up a little bit and have the sweetness melt upwards.
But here's the thing.
Make
I
it
knew a
stick.
guy in high school, and and he would every time, like at lunch, he would get a pack of Doritos, like Cool Ranch Doritos, and he would
Mhm.
take each chip out and he would look it on each side to see which side had more flavor.
That's
more
a different kind of
dust,
special.
and would eat it that
OCD.
way. And it was like, and I never, he would, it was subtle. It's not like he was like examining it under, like he didn't get a jeweler's loupe
Right.
and look through shit or whatever. He was,
Yeah.
but it was subtle
Yeah.
enough to where it was like, what do you, okay. And he would eat it. And it was like, and I asked him one day about it, and he was like, yeah, I just want the part that has more flavor on my tongue first. And I was like, but aren't you going to just crunch it up? And he was
Chew
like,
it up anyways, like a monster.
like, yeah, but it's the what, and it's like, okay, this was also a guy that showed me how to eat a Snickers in a different way. Do you remember? Were you there at work
yeah,
that
I
day
was
that
there
I
at
did
lunch. Yeah, yeah.
that? Okay, And I don't
So
do this.
with that, I will say it does taste different when you eat it that way.
Oh,
So-
come on now.
The way, so you get
Hold on a
Snickers.
second. Hold on a second. Hear him out. Hear him out.
So, and I don't do this all the time. I do this when I have a lot of time with no reason. Um, what you do is instead of eating Snickers, the normal, just put it in your mouth and eat it. You go around the edges of the Snicker bar and you eat the chocolate off of the edges. And then you eat the chocolate off of the bottom, leaving the nougat and peanut butter, but the nougat and the peanut caramel mixture with chocolate on the top. And it completely changes the flavor of your Snicker bar.
I can understand that.
Because you taste the roasted peanuts more, you can taste the caramel more, because the chocolate's overpowering. And
It's
so
more nougaty goodness. Yeah.
And so I but this is the guy that I learned that from, because he was like, I watched him eat a Snicker one time, and I'm like, what are you doing? He was like, tastes better this way. And so the guys at work, when we all worked together, saw me doing this, and they were like, you're crazy. And so I bought another Snicker bar, and I got a plastic knife, and I just cut everything off because I'm not going to bite all this off and say, hey, eat this. People are weird about that. And so I took it and I cut it into pieces, and I gave everybody a piece, and they're like, oh, wow, that tastes different. They're like, I don't think I would do that though. I was like, I don't do it all the time. I do it every so often. It's not it's one of those things when I have time and I'm just snacking and I have time to do this, I'll do it. If not, then I'll just slam a Snicker bar.
Try it before you knock it.
All right.
It tastes
I know what
good.
I'm doing tonight. That's dessert.
Because
Different.
when I saw Justin doing it too, and I was like, "What are you do?" I mean, I was one of those guys who are like, "What are you doing, dude? Like you're totally mutilating that Snickers bar."
I'm like, it looks weird. I understand, but it does taste different. I'm not saying it's. I wish they would make a candy bar that was like that. No, I mean, because it still does have chocolate and it has the nougat
Payday,
and it has all of that stuff.
Payday has no nougat.
Payday just has caramel.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but Payday's a damn fine. It's one of my favorite candy bars.
What is your top candy bars? Top two candy bars.
The dark Milky Way with the marshmallow.
Snickers is always going to be up there.
Oh,
Other than Snickers,
Whatchamacallit?
I would say my wife likes that. I like.
I remember the commercial.
I like the Heath bar.
Is
The
a
toffee?
Reese's? Yeah. Is Reese's Pieces a candy
chewy,
bar?
chocolatey, crunchy,
Wait.
munchy.
Are you talking about
Not Reese's Pieces. A Reese's but peanut butter cup.
peanut butter cup?
Is
Not
that
a candy
is that
bar.
a candy bar?
I think it's its own thing.
I think it's its own thing. It's
I
peanut
think.
butter.
Well, I would think that you would. Well, they also have those real big ones. I love those real
Yeah.
big ones. Those are
So,
real good.
like, everything else, like Snickers bar, Three Musketeers. Well, it's not a bar, but they
I
don't
don't
say
like-
Three Musketeers bar, but it's a bar. Same thing with like Payday. It's a bar. 100 Grand. It's a bar.
Oh, there we go. I'm
Now-
changing my two.
The cup, I'm gonna say it's. I'm agree with Justin. It's its own thing.
Okay.
There's no other candy that comes in like a cup. I mean, now they got the Snickers that does the same thing, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same.
No.
I will. You know what I miss? I miss king size Snickers.
Oh yeah.
When it was because now they sell
When it
them,
was
but
the
they're like
giant one.
yeah, but now they sell them and it's just like two smaller Snickers. And I was like, I just get two regular Snickers. And
No, it's not
the-
even. It's too smaller than regular
Yeah.
Snickers.
Yeah, each Snicker, each one of the halves is smaller than a regular Snicker bar. What else?
There is
So,
a
yes.
marshmallow Milky Way.
With dark
They only
chocolate.
sell, no. It's hold on.
Just like
Marshmallow.
candy. I'm trying to think.
Marshmallow Milky Way. It comes in I changed the wrapper. It's a blue wrapper now. Used to come in a white wrapper.
I love me some Milky Way.
It looks like I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like that.
Yes, we can see it.
And that is my favorite. And I've only been able to find it at like Bed Bath & Beyond. The weirdest place, I know.
It's weird. It's amazing how many candy bars they pump out a day. So on last job, I went down to M&M Mars. We did metal detection for the food processing industry. And how many candy bars go out a day? It's amazing. It's just insane that no wonder we're so big. So favorite type of candy other than candy bars? You can use a candy bar, or let's say hot tamales, sweet tarts.
I love gummy stuff.
Yes.
Like gummy bears.
Gummy bears, jelly beans, lifesavers, gummies.
The peach rings. I love the peach rings.
The occasional candy corn. Throw that in. Oh,
no,
you know what I also like from
no candy corn.
You know what I also like from the ice cream man used to sell these. It was a box called Cherry Clan, and it was like the little cherry chews that had like the hard, crunchy outside and like the soft, gooey.
I don't remember those.
Cherry sours.
Cherry sours, yeah. But I remember the box was called Cherry Clans. Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I like black licorice. So I like Good and Plenty's. Oh, I love Good and Plenty's.
Oh,
those are
I love them.
right,
those are
I don't
gross.
I don't. Well, there was a news story. Was it earlier this week? Yeah, it was earlier this week where some guy, I want to say he was in New York or whatever, died from eating too much licorice. I remember those. I remember
those.
Cherry Clan.
Now this is a vintage box. They don't make that box anymore.
I'm sure they can't get away
They don't
with
make that
one.
box anymore. But yeah.
I don't know if I ever had those. But yeah, there's some guy. Pull up the story, Alan. Excuse me. Some guy I want to say in New York was eating licorice, and there's something within licorice that if you eat too much of it stops your body from absorbing potassium.
It's a bag. He ate a bag of black licorice every day. No history of heart problems. Walked his dog regularly. Worked a physical job as a construction worker, and keeled over during lunch.
But I mean, that's excessive amounts of candy. I mean, regardless if it was black. If I saw a dude eating like a bag of fucking gummy bears every day, I'd be like, what are you doing? Because they don't sell black licorice in little bags. You know, I mean, they're big bags, you know, because they're, you know, but yeah, I like black licorice. It was,
they say, yeah, they estimate that it was I don't even know how to pronounce this, glyceric acid. That's how I'm going to say it. That's a plant extract that's often used as sweeteners in candies and other foods that can lead to dangerously low potassium levels if consumed in high enough doses.
yeah. So
That's why I stay away from black licorice.
no, is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is? No,
Yeah.
I like black licorice. I like gummy stuff.
Milk duds.
No,
You know,
I was never big into caramel
it
stuff.
reminds me of not Milk Duds. I'm thinking of, the Milk Dud, the Whoppers. That's what I'm thinking of.
Whoppers.
That reminds me of the movies, Whoppers.
I don't like the malted milk balls or Whoppers or whatever. They've never been my
Milk balls and dark licorice.
malted milk balls.
Yeah.
No, I've never.
Milk balls.
I've never liked those.
You know, not a fan of caramel. The Milk Duds.
Not a fan of
So good.
Milk Duds. Junior Mints are underrated.
Junior Mints are underrated, yes.
Yes.
But
they
it's
are
one of those
under-
things where
I think they deserve it though.
I think that they deserve being underrated too, because like the first 4 or 5, you're like, man, these are great, and then by 10, you're like, I don't want these anymore.
It's like that's candy corn. That's candy corn to me. I love Halloween time. I love candy corn, the little pumpkins and the regular candy corn.
Yeah.
But
That's
then
why
you can
they're only for Halloween.
You can only eat like 5, and then after
you
that, you're
do-
like, this is way too sweet.
Do you do the vampire teeth?
Yeah,
have to,
vampire
come
teeth
on.
with them.
You have
Oh,
to.
why are the specialty peanut butter cups that come out at Halloween, the pumpkins at Halloween, and the eggs at Easter time so much better? than regular Reese's peanut butter cups?
Because there's more
bu-
peanut butter in them.
Right. The peanut butter chocolate ratio is different.
They're so much better.
Yeah, last Christmas, Shannon and I went on a Christmas tree Reese's binging spree, and we just like every time we go to the store, we'd be like, throw these in the cart. She'd be like, "What are those?" I was like, "I don't know." They just jumped in.
They just jumped in.
They just
jumped in the cart. Said we had to take them
No.
home. I can't pass up those savings.
No. Here's the thing. I have a sweet tooth a mile long. When I can't remember if I've said this on podcast or not. But when I was single, I would do something that I called loser dinner. Have you guys ever had loser dinner?
All the time, still do.
Loser dinner is when you
Depends.
go to the convenience store and only eat stuff that you buy at the convenience store. Does not include anything on the roller. You don't get anything on the rollers.
No, that
But
doesn't count.
but you can get like pizza rolls from the freezer section. That counts. Like Tostitos and the jar of queso dip, the can where you have to pull those. Yeah, bean dip counts. All of that, and I would go and I would spend
Bag of Doritos and
$30 on candy and all
Oh
this
my!
stuff. Oh yeah, dude.
$30.
I mean, I wouldn't eat it all in one
Okay.
sitting, but it was one of those things where
breakfast the next day. Yeah.
no, but
feel
it was
better now.
kind of breakfast the next day. But it would be one of those things where it was like I would, it was like I want gummy bears and I want a Snickers bar, and I want some Mike and Ike's, and I want some peanut butter.
I'm an
cups.
adult. I
And-
can do it.
and that's exactly what it was. And I would eat this loser.
Where are you
dinner.
now, Dad?
Yeah, I would eat what I called loser dinner
I
every so often. I've done it since my wife and I've been together. I've done it a couple of times when she's like, if she's gone out with friends or something, and if we didn't have the kid or that kind of stuff, where it's just like, what are you gonna do? It's like, I'm gonna go buy all of this trash junk food and I'm gonna eat it probably all within 3 days.
yeah.
Nothing healthy at all.
I can't say that I haven't done it. I've done it before.
Underrated, great for snacking, combos.
Oh,
Oh, that's a pretzel with cheese in the middle.
Bugles.
Pretzel with cheese in the middle.
Ooh, I make
Bugles
witch
are good.
fingers out of bugles.
Have to.
Just give me some candied corn and bugles. I'm
Yeah.
all Halloween
You're
done.
Halloween down.
Loser dinner. Yeah. Top it off with like a tall boy and be like, "This is my dinner tonight."
I feel like
We
eating
usually
all that
get-
at once, I would lose my dinner.
I would get no, I never got it with like a tall boy or anything. It was I would always get like a weird soda that I wouldn't normally get.
Peach soda.
Either something like that, or
Fago.
I've never
I've
we
never
live in
bought
Texas.
Faygo.
I've never seen Fago anywhere, like in a convenience store that I can remember.
Racetrack. They have it at
Okay.
Racetrack or QT.
But it was always like something like Mountain Dew Code Red
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
or like RC Cola, just
Mhm.
kind of a rando drink like that, or and always one of the big bottles of Lipton Brisk iced tea.
Yeah, the original flavor brisk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was just one of those things I did because it was, I was single and had no one to watch over me, and I didn't feel it was like I'll go spend, instead of going. I mean, of course, there was no Uber Eats or anything like that, and it was like I don't want to make anything, so I was like, I'll just go do this. I could have easily gone to any drive-through.
Right.
I was like, I don't want drive-through food. I want trash junk food.
I want Doritos and gummy bears, some soda. Yeah.
Damn
that's gonna
right.
be my dinner tonight.
That's exactly what it was. It was,
Yeah.
it would last. It was usually like I would do that. Like if I didn't have plans on a weekend, I would do that like on a Friday night. And then I would just eat like trash for 3 days and then go back to, then go to work on Monday and ask.
I'm going to be a
like,
regular
everything's
human being now. Yeah.
fine. Time to not be a monster.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's almost time for us to wrap up, and I'm kind of proud of my little wheel here. So, would you mind if I hop in and we do
Go for it.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the
Let's
wheel.
do it.
This,
Wait, what wheel?
There we go. The Weekend from A to Z wheel.
What does this look like?
Right here.
What?
Ooh.
What is this?
All right, you ready for the question of the day?
Okay, I've got so many questions. How did you make this? I
plans.
like this.
Right on. So, would you rather win an Olympic medal, an Academy Award, or Nobel Peace Prize?
Ooh,
This is awesome.
that's great.
I love this. Olympic medal.
I don't
I'm
know.
going to say Olympic medal for me. I've always thought of myself an athlete. I don't know that I've ever been a full-on athlete. I wrestled up in college, so that was the pinnacle of my greatness. But yeah, an Olympic medal and probably in wrestling. So that would be my guess and my choice.
I would go with an Academy Award.
Oh
I
yeah,
grew
what
up-
role would you take it for?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Oh, that was part of the question.
Something that doesn't exist yet, probably. I don't know. I grew up an actor, acting in plays and stuff like that. And I'd always, I think it would be really cool to be able to lose yourself in a role that completely, to be able to do something like that. Yeah, I would. I'd go with an Academy Award.
Right on.
Okay. I like that answer. I would probably say, honestly, probably Nobel Peace Prize. Because I
Okay.
think I would be giving back to humankind for something. Hopefully for something good. Well, I mean, they only hand them out for good stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Solving cancer or world hunger or I don't know. That's what I would.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's how I would see you two guys. Absolutely.
Spin it again. Spin it
I
again.
like this wheel. I like the wheel. No. Don't spin it again. Don't ruin it. Let's just.
Okay, just keep it. Well, this is the new thing for the next couple of weeks. We'll have the
Yeah.
topics of the wheel.
I like
As
it.
you spin it, you can actually eliminate that one and take it off the table, so we still have the same
Okay.
ones I can just add to it. So,
So if we have questions we want to submit, can we put it just send you a
Absolutely.
text message? Okay.
yep.
Well, no. You know what? We have
We have
listeners and
listeners.
viewers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys,
There we go.
send us if you're a listener, send us an email. I'll give it the email address on the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a question in the comments, and we'll, if we like it, we'll put it on the
We'll add it to the
put
wheel.
it on the board.
Wheel
Absolutely.
of morality. Turn. Tell us the lesson. we should
The
learn.
wheel of morality. Whoa.
Yeah.
No,
Such high standards.
That's not
no,
that.
that's
but,
that's Animaniacs is what that was.
it is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I got you.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I'm
right.
glad y'all enjoyed that. This ought to be fun. Yeah, listeners,
No,
thanks,
that's cool.
give us some questions.
Yeah. So with that being said, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email us at theweekenda2z@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook and Instagram at A to Z Weekend. On YouTube, you will have to search for us, but it is the background with the colorful gummy worms. Past that, you can go to anchor.fm/A to Z Weekend, where you will find all 11 locations for our podcast, including Spotify.
All right, guys, we will see you on the flip flop.
Pow, pow.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Bye.